Hey, Mom, I'm Melissa Dillon. You're in for a treat today on this #1 podcast for you, ambitious, loving mom who wants to put your family first while living your definition of success, both personally and professionally. So turn up the volume or pop in those earbuds because it's time for more time loving mom life. You deserve to live a life with less stress, more balance, and more freedom, in appreciation for all of life's precious moments and imperfections, with more time to do all things you want and need to do for yourself and your family. I promise to support you on your personal path of building upon the life you deserve to love today, with lessons on life clarity, family first time management, or parenting strategies in every single episode. Are you ready to dive in? Let's do this thing together, Mom. I thought it's totally appropriate now to finally dive into some more 101 parenting strategy that you can implement right now today in your home moving forward. And the biggest thing is getting your child to listen to you, right? So how do we get them to listen? I am so excited to share with you a positive parenting strategy that I've learned and implemented in my classroom, as well as at home with our little one and with our older ones too, with our teenagers. So before I dive in, I want to make it clear that with this strategy that I'm about to lay out for you, it's very important to just pick one or two skills that you're trying to teach your child at a time. And when I say skills, I mean listening skills. So you ask them to brush their teeth, you're going to work, and they don't want to do it, you're going to work through that first. And then maybe for their bedtime routine. And then maybe in the morning you have something where they're struggling to get dressed in the morning and they'd rather just watch TV, but they're also not eating breakfast and they're playing with their food. You want to just pick one thing at a time in each moment or space of time so that you're not overwhelming your child or yourself and pulling each other's hair out and just getting bogged down. So I definitely recommend that if you're going to implement this into your home, then definitely just choose 1 to 2 things at a time, spend a week getting that mastered, and then moving into another skill that you like to implement. And pretty soon, before you know it, your child's going to be listening all the time. So I'm really excited to dive in. Let's do this. Training your child to listen takes a little bit of planning and proactive measures so that when the time comes when you actually do need them to listen, they totally know how to do it. They've practiced with you, they've recited with you, they've done role play with you. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So the #1 thing you want to do is think through the specific task that you're looking to get your child to comply with. So it could be something as simple as brushing teeth or putting away toys, or it could be something along the lines of a mindset, how to deal with their feelings, what do they do when they're angry. So let's take the example of brushing teeth. So for brushing teeth, there is a reason, a very good reason. Clearly, we need to take care of our bodies, and your child may not necessarily understand why they need to brush their teeth. So a great place to start is to educate them. Look up on the internet different pictures of healthy teeth, unhealthy teeth, teeth with cavities, teeth that are rotting, teeth that are having to be replaced. Some of those pictures may really stick in their minds. At least that's what worked for our 4-year-old. As soon as he understood, oh, my teeth can look like that, he was pretty hesitant about resisting his toothbrushing after that. So that is really helpful to educate your child on the reasons why you need them to do something like that. So what this is for personal hygiene, keeping a clean room, show them pictures of a messy room versus a clean and organized room, and a child who's happy playing with their toys in a clean space versus a messy space that's very cluttered. Talk about the feelings that are associated with not brushing teeth or picking up toys, using those as examples. This could be done with anything. So you could talk about the feelings or the sensations in the mouth when you don't brush your teeth. You have stinky breath, your teeth feel grimy, and then you can brush their teeth and show them, see, now let's feel your teeth and see what they feel like. Feel how shiny and smooth they are and your fresh breath. Ooh, and allow them to experience the benefits of teeth brushing or the benefits of having a clean space. Picking up their toys and going, now see, this is so nice. Now we have all this room to play. Now what do you want to do with this space? So taking them through the whole process of first educating them on why, and then second, taking them through the whole experience and doing it together, really holding their hand and allowing them to experience and feel the benefits of what you're asking them to do. That's really helpful. And then the final step to getting your child to really understand the whole process of doing what they're being asked to do is to role play. So this is a big positive parenting technique, role playing in advance what the expectation is from the parent, and then you can pretend that you're the child or pretend that you're mom, and then invite your child to take on a role themselves. It even gets more fun when they get to pretend that they're you and they're gonna brush your teeth, and they think that's so silly, or they get to tell you to clean up your toys and they think it's so silly. So having fun with the role play experience and going back and forth and so they can experience what it sounds like when you're asking them to pick up their toys or brush their teeth or get ready for bed or do their homework and all of those things, and then allowing them to come up with their own ways on how to respond. And that's the final part, is through the role play and proactive training experience, having them take part in creating the expectations in their response. So whether that be a response verbally or a physical response that they're actually going to just get up and go do it, or maybe they have some alternative ideas to contribute, and all of those things are invited. So that way they feel like they're in control. It fills their power cup. So they really need that, and any chance you get to fill their power cup is a win-win for both of you, because that way they're more likely to comply when you really do need them to get up and get going with whatever it is that you're asking them to do. And finally, we get to the point where if they're not listening, if you've gone through all of this and there's a consequence, you have to have a consequence at the end if they're not listening. And it's something that you have to get buy-in and agreement on in advance. So during the process of role play, when you get to the end, then you say, okay, kiddo, let's come up with a consequence together. So what if you don't pick up your toys? What's the consequence going to be? And it's super important to make the consequence very much aligned with what the task at hand is. So if it's something like picking up the toys, for example, since we're using that for this show, if they're not picking up their toys, you're not going to say, okay, no more TV time, because one has nothing to do with the other. You want to come up with something that's very relatable and a direct cause and effect consequence for your child. So if you don't pick up your toys and I have to end up picking it up for you, then we're going to go ahead and put that toy away. You could take the toy away for a period of days. Or you could do something where, well, if you don't pick up your toys, then we won't be able to take down another box. So one really good thing you could do with toys, for an example, is just allow your child to have one thing out at a time. And that's something that they may be very used to, especially if they go to school. They're typically only allowed to have one thing out at a time, and a teacher will usually be pretty good about saying, okay, you need to go back and go clean up what you had out in your center, and then you can move on to the next activity. So implementing that at home, it'll be like, oh, cool, that works, because your child has already been trained in the classroom to do that. And then with brushing their teeth, you could come up with something. Maybe, off the top of my head, if they're not brushing their teeth, well, then if we're going to have to mess around with brushing your teeth, then we're not going to have time to read a book. So do you see how that would relate? Even though the book has nothing to do with the teeth brushing, not brushing your teeth, which is something that's a non-negotiable, we have to brush your teeth for hygiene purposes and for your health. You can get sick if you're not brushing your teeth. Your teeth can fall out if you're not brushing your teeth. So this is something that I can't say you're not going to do. As your mom, it's my role to do this with you and brush your teeth with you. So if they choose not to, well, now having this conversation and having to stop what you're doing, then it's taking time away from the other parts of the bedtime routine or the morning routine. So what other things can you come up with? Anything that you have that maybe is a good little carrot for your child, a reward for managing their time wisely, knocking it out with getting their teeth brushed, going potty, taking a bath, and doing the whole routine, then you get that extra time to enjoy a story or a singing time or whatever it is that's part of your bedtime routine. It's a special treat for them. Or maybe they lose a book and you guys usually do 3 books, you take a book away, that kind of thing, because of course that one-on-one attention is still critically important. So it'll just be shorter if you run out of time. I hope that makes sense. And then I mentioned earlier, you can also apply this same process in teaching your child how to deal with their feelings. So let's take anger, because anger is a really big one for a lot of kids, especially little ones. And I think any age they can struggle with this. And especially as they get older, it gets harder to deal with. And it's for more real life stuff. But when your child is young, it could be little things like someone took my toy, or I don't want to get up and get out the door. I want to sit and stay and play, really simple things. And that could really anger them. And they respond with hitting and screaming, or not using their words and just yelling or punching things and people, or defying you very, very adamantly. And when that happens, then we have to take the opportunity to teach them other ways to deal with their anger. But in the moment isn't such a great time. They've got their emotions running wild, and there's no way. I mean, think about a time when you were really angry. You don't want someone saying, "Now, honey, you need to calm down." And I mean, when you're angry, you don't want to calm down. You want to have those feelings. So the best way to do it is to proactively talk to them. Let's go back. So just allow them to have their space when they are angry in the moment, and then take note that you want to have conversations about it afterward. So once they're calmed down, then you can talk about and acknowledge what they were angry about. And maybe they have something they were angry about that you didn't even know about. So they can have an opportunity to talk about it with you. They'll learn to talk about their feelings openly. Ask them what they felt in their body. So being aware of what is in their body, then they can start to really pinpoint what it is, then define the feeling with more words like disappointment, frustration, anxious, anything, nervous, and it made them angry because they were nervous about something or scared of something. So they responded in anger. So it could be a lot of different things. And you want to help them clearly define what their feelings are and have a wider vocabulary about their feelings. And then you can invite them to come up with different ideas about how to deal with their anger. So maybe they need to walk away and have some quiet space. Give them a place in your house so that they can have a private place to have their emotions. Maybe they just need to go and calm down. Maybe you meditate in your family and you can invite them. They can come up with the idea on their own, or you can invite them to meditate or have quiet time on their own. Maybe they want to draw a picture about their feelings, and that's an idea they came up with. You are open to have them work through their feelings in any way that they feel comfortable. And you could throw out your own ideas, and then also invite them to have their ideas so that you guys could come up with a solution together and try it. And the ideas may or may not work for helping your child through their feelings and helping them understand. And you could just try different things. So I can leave actually a few links below in the description or in the show notes for this episode of some ideas about maybe journaling or pictures that educate about feelings and emotional awareness. And that may help too to strike up the conversation to support you in your mission to help your child through their emotions. So I hope that helps too. Hi there, it's Melissa here with a quick announcement. On our website, raisingkindness.org, we just launched a new feature of asking your question. So go over to raisingkindness.org today to record your question, and it could be answered on a future episode. Now, your question could be about anything. It could be about today's topic. It could be about a previous one on another episode. It could even be about anything that you're facing in your own life that's a challenge or a problem that you're looking for a solution on your journey, your mission to building a life that you love with your family. So, does that sound good? Go ahead and go over to raisingkindness.org today and ask your question of us right now. Oh, and now back to the show. Thank you so, so much for tuning in today because I am just so pleased to be able to have this opportunity to help you build a life that you love for yourself and your family. So please don't hesitate to subscribe if you've enjoyed this episode, and I look forward to talking with you next time.